Hello and welcome to the first video of the decision support system class. We're going to be talking about the break-even analysis. It's an example on how to show you when is the profit is zero. We all know when the profit is zero is actually resulted from the total revenue is equal to the total cost of that business. So I do have a small furniture store by the name Price, small store, and it sells tables. Each table is going to be sold for $130, and as you notice, I'm going to go ahead and already formatted all the cells here really with the currency, which you could go ahead and grab that directly from here. And the yearly fixed rate is very fixed. Whether you sell zero items or a million items, you have to really pay the fixed cost. That has to do with building the factory or building, of course, salaried employees, and many of those things that you have to really pay ahead before you even start producing the very first unit. So let's assume we have 198,000 for the total yearly fixed cost, and we are selling of course that table for 130, but it does actually cost us $89 to produce. So here in this cell, which is going to be really the items, or the number of the items that we're going to be able to sell, here is the profit, which is going to tell us if we got really in the positive. That means we're doing good, but the whole idea here is to see when we're going to break even. So the units sold, let's assume that we just put 1,000 for now, and that help us actually to keep track of all the calculation. But we would, again, one more time, I'm repeating myself, to really see when is the profit is zero, to see what is the number of the item that we have to produce. This is doesn't have actually our figure, so I'm going to change the format to number. And of course we don't want it to have anything to do with the decimal point, because this is a table. We don't want a broken table. So to even actually do that better, even the calculation result in a fraction or a decimal point with digit to the right of it, it's always going to give me an integer value. So I'm going to use the integer function equal int. It's always going to be an integer value. Okay, let's go to the total revenue. It's going to be based on the fact how much I sold multiplied by the price that I'm charging my customer, which is this one here. Let me go ahead and see. This is the 8, and it's going to be the total revenue. The total variable cost, I could copy it directly. That is not going to change. The total variable cost for any business, of course, will change based on the number of the item that we produce. So it's going to be this one here multiplied by the cost that I have to pay to produce each item. And the total cost, you do agree with me, I hope, that it's actually the total fixed cost plus the variable cost. Now we're going to go ahead and calculate the profit. The profit is going to be the total revenue, what I got from selling all these items, minus the total cost. It's going to be in the negative, obviously, because I chose a smaller number of units. But if I change this, let's say to 4,000, sorry, 1 second here, 4,000 here, it's going to reduce the amount of, because I'm making more money. If I sold 10,000 units, would be wonderful, because we have really a good profit here. Again, the thought behind this example is really to go to the profit and see when it's going to be a zero, in order to see when is actually the total revenue is going to be equal to the total cost, and that means that's the break-even point. So the best way to do that is to go to the data ribbon, and of course you're going to use what if analysis, and namely we have to use that very powerful feature, even as small as it is comparing to other things we're going to learn later, like solver, is to really look at the goal seek, and the goal seek is going to be by setting this cells to 0, and we're going to go ahead and of course tell what cell need to be changed in order to get the 0, which is the, as we all agreed, is the unit sold, or the unit that we're going to sell. And here we go, it's going to really do its own magic. And remember that I actually turned unit sold to an integer, so we're not going to get really a fraction of a table. So let's go ahead and get that. Notice it's perfect, and exactly what I need to show you is that the profit should be 0. Therefore, as you notice, the total cost here is equal to the total revenue. and I'm going to accept this. Of course, this one more time, the total revenue is equal to the total cost, indicating that really this is going to be zero. Mathematically easily, you can see that mathematically easily can be figured. And of course, the total cost in order to get the break-even analysis is to sell 4,829 items. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger, celebrating the fact that I was able to really come up with this. Thank you and have a wonderful time, and I hope to see you in the next video.